During Christ's time here on earth, Jesus would tell his disciples and the Jews about God, himself, and morals that people should put into their lives by using parables. One of the methods that people learn morals is through storytelling. And in today's society, one of the greatest ways of telling stories is through the magic of cinema. I'm going to take you all on a journey through the genres of fantasy, horror, and sci-fi, and show you how to find Christ within the parables of the film industry. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Parables of the Film Industry. I am your host, Ned Bowie. Today, we're going to be talking about a movie that is kind of considered a cult classic, and although it is loved by many people, it also makes a lot of people go, what on earth did I just watch? And that movie is Jim Henson Productions' Labyrinth. Labyrinth is a very odd movie, but it is one that I hold very close to my heart. Labyrinth is a story about a girl named Sarah who is left to babysit her baby brother. She, of course, thinks that this is unfair, she wants to go do more fun things, and doesn't want to have to deal with a lot of responsibilities. Basically, your average teenager. As she is babysitting her baby brother, she tells him the story of the Goblin King, who fell in love with a girl and basically gave her the ability to wish for anything she wanted. And what does she do? She wishes her baby brother away to be kidnapped by David Bowie. What else would you wish for? Of course, not realizing that she was actually doing something horrifically wrong, she then says, no, I want my baby brother back. What I did was wrong. So, the Goblin King, as I said, played by David Bowie, basically gives her a time limit in order to go save her baby brother, and to solve his labyrinth. That's basically the main gist of the story. So, how does this movie tie into our faith? Sarah is simply playing us. There have been many times when we go through life and we are constantly wishing, why isn't this easier? Why isn't this simple? This is no fair. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And basically just really not wishing a lot of bad things that are happening to us, or just wishing that life was a lot easier and simple. Jareth, or the Goblin King, is basically a comparison to Satan or Lucifer. Many times throughout the movie, Jareth is constantly at the heels of our hero Sarah, trying to tempt her away from saving her baby brother, leading her astray, trying to make her forget what her main goal is in life, or on this mission in particular, and also trying to tempt her away with much grander things which are far more appealing than, I guess, saving your own baby brother. But the point is, there are many times in life where this happens to us as Christians. How many times has Satan basically led you astray from your main mission in life, from the journey that God has laid down for you? How many times has something come your way which sounds incredibly appealing, but you know in your heart is wrong? How many times have you been tempted to do something that is wrong, and to put down your responsibilities and to go do something, well, more fun? How many times as adults have we put aside our responsibilities for something that we know we shouldn't really be doing? I'm not saying every single time this happens, it's Satan whispering in your ear, but there are many times when it is something incredibly grand, and yes, even sometimes minuscule. Sometimes that is Satan leading us away from what we are supposed to do. Sometimes that can be the littlest of things. Sometimes it can be laziness from what you're supposed to be doing, whether or not it's at home or at work, and pushing away your responsibilities. And then eventually, that can just lead to something greater and greater and greater until your whole life is just falling apart. And honestly, the greatest example in this movie, showing that Jareth is definitely basically a comparison to Satan, is the very last scene in the movie, where Sarah is confronting Jareth, saying, give me the child. He might seem like an incredibly strong character who could simply just smack her like a fly, but you can tell he is incredibly weak. He is desperate, he is scared, and he is trying to do everything to scare her, or to tempt her, or to basically just make her wish that she can have all this great power instead of saving her baby brother, which is her mission. At the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, she is also caught basically memorizing this book, which is the Labyrinth. And in it, there is this line where eventually it leads to her talking to the Goblin King, saying, "You have no power over me." This is how we must direct our faith when it comes to Satan. He has no power over us, whether or not that power has to do with fear in our lives, losing faith in God, being lazy, or just wishing for something grander and greater in a selfish manner. Then those are the many times when Satan is whispering in our ear, telling us, yes, we do deserve something greater in our lives, but not in the right way. And it is during those times when Satan is leading you astray where you have to step up, look him straight in the eye, and say,
"You have no power over me."
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Parables of the Film Industry. I'm your host, Ned Bury, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.